Hey guys, it's been a while since our last video because
That's been a while.
I've had a massive cold over the 2 weeks, but in today's video I will be talking about my connections to the land down under and because I'm a women's college basketball player.
Yep. And we are talking about.
Georgia Aimwood, the point guard from Ballarat
Yep.
in Victoria, Australia.
Yep. I'm talking about.
For the Virginia Tech Hokies, and she led them on the historic run to the final for the first time in school history.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty. So before we get into Australia and Georgia, can we talk about just your general view of what you thought about the women's national championship tournament? What did you think about it?
I thought it was absolutely sensational,
Yeah.
but it can't look like injuries. But it really bothered me when all of the trash talking got all the headlines.
Yeah. So in your history, you've made it pretty clear that although you don't mind a little friendly trash talking, you don't like when it takes away from the attention of the play.
It ruins the moment.
Yeah, you don't like when it takes away from the attention of the athletes.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
in the moment you don't mind it, but then when it's making headlines, that's when it kind of bothers you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I get that. I can agree with that. I think that there's always a place for trash talking. I think that trash talking is a fun aspect of the game, but I think when it takes away from how hard those women worked and like took away from the effect of like don't let that be the headline. Like let the headline be that these women are talented athletes, that they're unbelievable, that they worked so hard. Like to make it all about the trash talk and stuff like that, like it just it takes away from the
And
moment.
the referees are like, and I was watching the national championship game. I swear to God, the referees were.
Do you feel like they inserted themselves in?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I get that everyone's nervous. I get
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah, it happens, man. I think that those are the big parts of the game that struggle sometimes, and sometimes people focus on too much is the effects of the refs, the effects of the taunting, all that stuff. Where at the core of it is we had a pretty amazing story. I mean, like Caitlin Clark really took it by storm.
But the story about Caitlin Clark, she's a local girl at Iowa.
Yeah.
She's a local girl. Iowa through.
Because when you think Iowa, you don't really think powerhouse in women's basketball. Yeah, you think wrestling. You don't think powerhouse in basketball, right?
Right.
So for Caitlin Clark to kind of put that team and that college on her back and maybe make a name for themselves, off the and she's still got another year of eligibility.
Two 40-point games in the women's game. Are you kidding me?
Now, do you think that do you like the comparison that she's the female Steph Curry?
Absolutely.
You like that? I do too. I mean, her step back ability.
Or
Luka too. Yeah, that Luka connection too, because they have that. She's got that step back. She's got that step back that she could just pop back and hit those threes. She was trading shots from like the logo.
Yeah.
She's an animal. I gotta give it to her. She was fun to watch. She was really fun to watch.
But you know what I love about Caitlin off the court? She's like the intensity of holding winner with the grace of God in front of her.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like
That's fair. I think what I think was so to be able to topple South Carolina, who was just an absolute powerhouse, like with Boston and just like that team was just they were just shooing to be back into the finals, and for them to be able to topple them in the semis and the Final Four, I think was unbelievable.
But I gotta be honest, I'm sort of like not disappointed by LSU, but it's like that.
Well, it felt like, I mean,
That,
congratulations to LSU. I think
I mean,
congratulations.
well done.
They did amazing. They played so hard. I think I agree. I think that the storybook tale of like this young woman who's draining these threes, and she's taking a thing by storm. For her to kind of follow that through and win the national championship with Iowa would have been really incredible. But I mean, it sometimes just doesn't fall that way. How'd you feel about the men's bracket? Mr. Upset himself over here. You must have loved it. You must have loved those first couple of rounds.
Oh my!
We're losing number 1 seeds left and right, like.
Zach Keely, the big Canadian.
Yeah.
Zach Keely, the 7-foot
He's a big dude.
tall monster. I mean,
Are you happy that it went to a team like UConn?
yes,
You okay with that?
because it's a local.
Yeah.
Speaking of Connecticut, man, 2 championships in the same week.
I know Quinnipiac won the Frozen Four. Yeah. Big things for Connecticut right now. Real big things for Connecticut. Yeah, that was.
And they have the best Ninja Warriors in the country.
And the Ninja Warriors. We haven't gone up on that in a while. But that's I mean I just thought of you the whole time watching that tournament. Like, holy crap! Like, Sean probably has the most accurate bracket than anybody in the world, because it was just like upset after upset after upset.
You're like, you might do it like finally.
The only thing that bummed me out a little bit was, who did San Diego State beat in the final? I was pulling for the Owls. I was pulling for Florida Atlantic. It would have been super cool to see a double-digit seed in the finals, you know, going up against UConn. Yeah. I mean, granted, San Diego State was a 9, right?
Yeah.
That's.
But let's be honest. The worst basketball game I've ever seen in my life was LSU versus Miami in the Elite Eight in the women's NCAA. That was.
What happened in that?
Nobody was making shots.
Oh.
I mean, it was.
Yeah, that was a rough game.
That was the worst game of all time.
Yeah, that was rough to watch. That was rough to watch.
I mean, that was the worst game of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like watching this like years ago back in it.
Yeah, it was one of those weird situations where both teams were so off. Yeah. And like, you're like, how is the score not going up yet? Because both teams are just so off. Question, how do you feel about the way that it's timed out? Do you like that it's like there's this big sprint to like the Final Four, and then once the Final Four gets, they kind of spread it out? Do you like that, or do you wish that they spread it out more? Do you wish that they sped it up?
I was thinking like, I like it, but I was thinking like, put it out the garden.
Yeah, that's a good point. Put out the garden, that would be cool.
Anyway, the player I'm gonna talk about now is I mean, think about something, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not taking it from Australia, but you're from Ballarat, Australia, which is a little town in the state of Victoria.
Okay.
You're 10,000 miles away from home in the country, like, you don't really know that much.
Yeah.
You can't see your parents for a year because of the COVID situation in Australia.
That's a lot of stuff.
And then, I start with my connection to Australia goes back
a long way.
23 years since
Sydney, Australia was really the one that kind of sparked your interest, right?
Sydney 2000.
Yeah, so the Sydney 2000 Olympics is really...
That is when big corner jumped over the big fence, dude. I don't know if you...
Yeah, That's right. So that was really what sparked your interest in it, was the 2000 Olympics.
The Aussies won the relay that year.
Okay.
And they haven't won it since.
That's right. That's 23 years ago.
Yes.
And then since then, I mean, your connection with Australian athletes has been huge, and the Australian Little League team, when you had gone to the thing, 9 years ago, they kind of made you an honorary Australian, right?
Yeah.
The coach was so impressed by all the knowledge that you knew about Australia that they made you honorary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want to be Australian for realness. I want to be Australian for the other time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that gonna happen? You gonna go down to visit? Go down to move there?
I just know the Australian culture like inside out for the
I know
sports. Like you wouldn't even know I'm American. Like, or do people know that I'm American? Or is it just that?
I think it's
You wouldn't even know that I was born in. What do you think?
I think people are really impressed by your level of knowledge to Australia. Like, I think that when you start talking about Australian, things, people underestimate how deep it truly goes for you. Like the amount of information that you have and the amount of knowledge and culture that you've kind of soaked in for Australia, which is so impressive.
But you know what's even more amazing? How some the Australians are like.
Yes. Well, that's the key. I mean, like, I think anybody who doesn't know much about Australia would be impressed by how much you know about Australia. But the Australians who are impressed by you is so incredible because you know so much about their culture. There's so much respect, and it's unbelievable.
But we talk about the rivalries that we have. We have on the court. We always play them at the youth level. I mean, we're right there. Like they're right there. Like.
Well, let me ask you this, to kind of stem off of Australian athletics. How did you feel about Australia's World Baseball Classic?
Cinderella run. Are you kidding?
I was so impressed by their showing.
Cinderella run. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Let's not count out. Let's give thoughts to the Czech Republic.
Absolutely. I can't. That World Baseball Classic was so amazing. I mean, granted, it ended up coming down to two world powerhouses in U.S. and Japan. But leading up to that, Italy was impressive. The Czech Republic was impressive. Australia was impressive. Teams like the DR and Puerto Rico greatly underperformed. Panama, Cuba, like all of these teams, like didn't perform well. And then you had these teams that were just like this rise of like these teams.
But can I ask you, man, do you think Australia could become a world power in the near future?
I think, so here's the problem, is that with sports like baseball, where there's so much is already established, it becomes so hard for a team to become a world power when you have teams like Australia, the DR, the US.
No, is Australia on the rise?
They're on the rise, for sure. But I think they would need a big, they need a big push from a couple of really big players. But who knows? Maybe that this success that they're having in the World Baseball Classic is going to be pushing towards younger players getting into the sport.
But does it matter if there's like, I support an Aussie regardless of whether. Do I support it more at the college level or at like?
I think you support. I think you're all over. I think you're pretty consistent.
I would, the cool thing about Georgia is, I don't know if you watch the Queens of Castle podcast.
No.
It's her and Liz Kitley.
Oh, cool.
I mean, so.
That's really cool. So what year is she in?
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
She just finished her junior year.
Just finished her junior year, so
Yeah.
she's got another year of eligibility. So we got, I know it's a goal of us to kind of get out to a college where she's performing so we can see her.
At BC.
Yeah, BC would be
Because
ideal.
That's the only close is UC.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. As we've hit kind of a lot of topics here on this episode where we've talked about NCAA, we've talked about Australia, the influence. I want to ask you a question since we're kind of going all over a little bit. Now that NCAA is done for the season, basketball is entering into the playoffs. NHL is heading into the playoffs, which, by the way, Boston Bruins just beat the all-time record last night. 63 wins. 63 wins in a season. Unbelievable. And they still got 2 games to go, so they can beat the points record. They got 131. I think the points record is 133. Or 129 and 131, one of those. But regardless, so we got NHL playoffs coming up. We got the NBA playoffs coming up. Baseball just started. WNBA draft is tonight. What do you feel? How are you feeling? What are you excited for? Looking forward as the spring and the summer come up.
Definitely. I've been watching a lot of I don't know,
Okay.
And my Aussie was football.
Okay. Is that in season or is that coming up?
That's in season.
It's in season right now? Okay. So Aussie rules football is a big one that you're looking into. Do you have any interest in the NHL playoffs this year?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who are you pulling for?
I gotta go with Seattle, man.
Oh.
Seattle or Calgary.
Okay. So you're going for the expansion team type, young team. You're looking to see them kind of prosper. Okay. Yeah. I like Seattle. They play a very good game. I like them. Obviously, I'm a Bruins fan, but I also I like Colorado. Colorado plays very tight hockey.
Calgary is good too.
Calgary is good. They're young. A lot of good young fun teams out there. I'd like to see Edmonton maybe make a little bit of a push. They have so much talent, but they never kind of follow through with it.
So I would. My Habs are out of it.
Your Habs are out of it, man. They are out of it. Now, question to ask you. I know you're not the biggest NBA fan, but do you have a prediction for the NBA, for the finals? Oklahoma is going to be in the play-in tournament, so they are the 10th seed. So they just made the play-in tournament. So not today, not tomorrow, but Wednesday they will play. Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. I think it's Wednesday. They play to stay alive to then play another game to make the playoffs as the 8th seed. So they're gonna win 2 games to be the 8th seed.
So as you probably know,
this is a good segue for Australia.
Oh my God. As an honorary Aussie, I gotta go to Oklahoma City.
And why is that?
Because my guy's Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey, the Australian super wonder out there in Oklahoma City. He's got a season going on right now, man. He's got a good season. Oklahoma City should have been nowhere near. Also, another very exciting thing towards the end of the NBA season is we can start thinking about the NBA draft and who's going to be the number 1 consensus overall pick. Somebody that I gotta give credit where credit's due. Sean knew about this guy way before anybody else was talking about him. And who's that? Sean was way ahead of anybody else. He was showing me highlight films from this guy in high school, right? Like middle school, high school. Like videos from when this guy was 14 years old. He was showing me clips of him because nobody knew who this guy was. And you were way ahead of the curve on this one. And you even said, I think you even made the comparison that people are making right now. He said he is a Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Durant hybrid. And that's exactly what he's been compared to. So all the credit in the world to this guy who had this guy scouted so early. And where's Victor from? Germany? France. That's right.
Because of the French connection, I'm still waiting to go into URI, man.
Yeah.
Because of the French.
We want to, as you can see, Rhode Island basketball right here. We're gonna hopefully be going to some URI games in the upcoming season because the French roster. It's almost like a French national team. I mean, how many players they have from France?
I mean, it's unbelievable the international influence that I've had over the.
It's great.
You wouldn't even, like I said, I'm a kid from the U.S., but you wouldn't know it quite literally.
Yeah, the international vibe and flavor that you bring to everything is so. Yeah, you could fool a lot of people because you got it in you, man. You got it in you.
I mean, Georgia. If I meet Georgia anymore, she would be shocked.
Yeah.
On how much.
Absolutely. Maybe one day.
You know what? We gotta do like a piece.
Okay.
With Hollywood on ESPN. As I always like to say, I always like to shoot for the big time.
Yes. Let's make it happen. Get us on ESPN. Let's do it.
Yeah. I've been saying that for like 10 years straight.
I know we gotta make it happen one day. We gotta unload this knowledge on somebody.
Dude, we gotta since we don't have a car, you know what? Maybe we can use like a West.
Maybe. We'll talk about that. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to close out on this?
I just want to say I think this goes to show that you don't have to be from Australia or France that started the Australians to make an impact down under.
Absolutely.
And I made a tremendous, how do you think of the impact that Australia?
Impressive. I'm gonna say impressive. The impact.
Look, I know Australians at the back of my head.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, and that's why we're gonna get that knowledge out there sometime. This is why we do it, a little piece at a time.
You know, I was gonna think we can do we have to do that news presentation.
Yes, that's another thing. Be on the lookout for us. We're probably gonna try to maybe tape it or something and put it on your channel, right?
Yeah.
Your presentation. So, Sean's gonna be doing a local school. He's gonna be teaching a class on luge. So we gotta get that rolling. That's something we're gonna work on.
We gotta get that rolling.
Maybe next week we can work on that.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's line off.
All right. Take care, mate.
Thank you very much.
Take care, mates, and I'll see you next time in the channel.